Nothing here but heaven, nowhere but love to fall as I go within quiet peace. Offer something sacred. There's a sweetness that waits, holiest embrace that reminds me I'm always home as I go within quiet peace. Offer something sacred. There's a sweetness that waits, holiest embrace that reminds me I'm always home. It's here that I am always home.
It's here that I'm always home. So true. So true. So wonderful to be here with you this evening. It's my last Wednesday night service with all of you. Bittersweet, very bittersweet, but I'm very, very grateful for the time that I've been here with you. Wednesday night service's intention is to allow you to have a place midweek where you can just come and be. You can reconnect with Source, let go of all that's happened before this moment now, and just allow yourself to be fully present right here and right now. We take about the first 20 minutes to just go into the silence to allow you to reconnect with that Source within you, and then we'll pick it up a little bit. So to start us out tonight, we have a beautiful practitioner, Tootie Seifke.
So allow yourself just to turn inward to the holy place, to the center of knowledge and wisdom. It is your being and your vessel. And at this time, we created a sacred space, a place tonight where we can come together of like mind. And so I recognize the beauty of this moment. And I recognize the one mind of God, its beauty and its fullness, knowing that God is within and weaving itself through all that is. And I recognize the beauty of the characteristics of God, that God is community and friendship, God is relationships, God is church and centers, God is all this and so much more. And so at this moment, I just encourage you to feel that sense of beauty within you. The place that knows that it knows, the God place in you. That is understanding that your cells and your body and your entire being is immersed in the presence of goodness and allness and oneness. And so with that tone and that kind of cohesion, let's open this service together tonight. Let's let it be one of a kind and a memorable one at that. What a blessing it is to have you here. And each one of you can receive a gift if you are just willing to receive it. And I bless and know that all good things are happening right here and right now. And so I just simply know this to be true, and I am thankful. And I simply end with saying, and so it is. Good evening. Hello, everyone. What a delightful honor to have you here tonight. And if you have not already, I see some have, please take a moment to come forward and light a candle. As Reverend Debbie so beautifully outlined, tonight is for you to feel a sense of love and support. It is Wednesday, so let's use that as a way to gather up for the rest of the week. And if you, at the end of our service, please make sure to visit both Rebecca Reverend Rebecca and myself for prayer in the prayer chapel. We'll be happy to support you in blessings and any support you need. Right now, let's hear from Jim and Aria.
There is only one of us. In your eyes, it's me I see. There is only one of us. You are my reflection. love. Where there is injury, pardon. Where there is doubt, faith. Where there is despair, hope. Where there is darkness, light. Where there is sadness, joy. O divine Master, grant that I may not so much seek to be consoled as to console, to be understood as to understand, to be loved as to love. For it's in giving that we receive, and it's in pardon that we are pardoned, and it's in dying that we are born to eternal life. O divine Master, grant that I may not so much seek to be consoled as to console, to be understood as to understand, to be loved as to love. For it's in giving that we receive, and it's in pardon that we are pardoned, and it's in dying that we are born to eternal life. Amen.
Jim, especially beautiful this evening. Thank you. I was sitting this morning having coffee with my loved one, Janine, and I noticed we were both reading prayer material. I said, "What you reading?" She said, "I'm reading a 2,000-old original script from an old Jewish prophet." Well, I'm reading the Daily Om. It's written by Gabriel Bernstein, and she's a millennial. We didn't say anything for a moment, and then I said, do you think we're kind of reading the same thing? And she goes, yeah, we are. So it's that one mind, a beautiful one mind. So tonight, Debbie's talk, Reverend Debbie, is all about the power of community. One thing I know for sure is just chatting with Reverend Debbie back in the Rose Room, I noticed that there's such a peace about her with this transition she's going to make. A beautiful transition, not a bad one. And as she goes north, I'm quite sure she had to hear the whisper at some point. And so in the Daily Om, this is what it talks about. You may have noticed, it says, that if you want to speak to someone in a noisy, crowded room, the best thing to do is to lean in and whisper. Yelling in an attempt to be louder than the room's noise generally only hurts your throat and adds to the chaos. Similarly, that still small voice within each of us does not try to compete with the mental chatter on the surface of our minds, nor does it attempt to overpower the volume of a ruckus world outside. If we want to hear it, no matter what is going on around us or even inside of us, we can always tune in to the soft voice underneath the surrounding noise. And she ends with, we may find that our own communications in the world begin to be influenced by the quiet certainty of this voice. We may be less inclined to indulge in idle chatter as we become more interested in maintaining our connection to the whisper of truth. The broadcasts its message like the sound of the wind shaking in the leaves of a tree. As we align ourselves more with this quiet confidence, we become an extension of the whisper, penetrating the noise of the world and creating more peace, trust, and confidence. Oh, one more thing. I know you've sat here many nights and had the joy of listening to Reverend Debbie, and I feel very honored that tonight is the last night we get to celebrate her. And it's kind of choking me up a bit, I don't know about you, because, as far as the power of community that you're going to talk about tonight, this is a community you're leaving, and you're going to a new community where you will love and expand and grow them as well, just like you have here. And one thing I know, that as she sails in her boat to the north, and we watch her go away to beautiful Monterey, so don't feel so bad. As we watch her sail away, and we say, there she goes, there she goes. I know, and perhaps you've heard this on the other end, there in Monterey, they're saying, here she comes, here she comes. And so we love and bless you, and just such a gift you are. We will stay in touch, yes? Excellent. So you have a support here. And if you grow tired or want to come home, she can come back, right? Okay, well, there you go. So without further ado, let's raise the energy a little bit and give a big hand to Reverend Debbie.
Thank you, sweetheart. Thank you. You're so kind. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. Wow. Yes. It's been almost 2 years. January will be 2 years that Reverend Lori Mack and I started with the Going Within service. Can you believe it? It's been 2 years almost? I can't. That's crazy. It's crazy, crazy. But it's all good. So tonight, as Trudy said, we're going to talk about the power of community. But we're continuing on with our theme for 2016, the Global Vision, a world that works for everyone. And November's theme is wholeness. And then on the next slide, Melanie, these are the two parts that we've come together. Remember, we're taking what we believe in the global vision. It's been merged together in a year-long program, broken down by the month. And tonight we're going to take a look at this part that's in bold. We see our communities as empowered with the realization of unity and wholeness, from which flows the ultimate healing power of forgiveness and love. So that's the part we're going to take a look at tonight. I peeked to see what December's was because I felt like I couldn't just leave you all hanging. We've done 11 months, December's theme is going to be the living spirit, the living spirit. And I'll go ahead and post Dr. Ken Gordon's video that he does each month for you on the Reverend Debbie Facebook page so you all can get a piece of what December looks like. Reverend Dr. Kathy Hearn will be here on the first Wednesday in December, and Reverend Bobby Beckwith will be here the third Wednesday in December. So we'll finish out the year that way, but I don't think they're going to be following the theme they'll be talking about. I know Dr. Kathy's talking about the light for the month of December, so she'll be talking about that. So I wanted to start out with a story that I found that was actually a thing that was posted on Facebook. And I think it really talks about this power of community, and it encompasses all of what we're talking about. I'm just looking at the girl's name. It was Salma Hamida who posted this on Facebook. And Salma was in North York, Ontario, on the subway when she witnessed this. She witnessed herself getting onto the subway, and along with her came a Latino man, and he seemed to be very stressed and very anxious. And as he came and sat down on the subway, he sat next to a Russian man who had a very, very heavy accent. And the Russian man said to him, can I help you? What's wrong? And the Latino man said, I have a job interview. I'm late. And I have a terrible headache. And there was a Muslim woman sitting just a few seats down, and Salma gave him an aspirin. And he said, well, I don't have anything to drink. I'll take it later. And the Muslim woman reached into the backpack of her child and pulled out a juice box and said, here, you better take it now because that way your headache will be better by the time you get to the interview. And then the Russian man continued to coach him on what he should do when he got to his interview. He said, now you want to be confident and you want to walk confidently, and I'd pull your hair back. And he had long hair. And a little Chinese teenager sitting down took the hair clip off her wrist and handed it to him, and he put his hair back. And then the Muslim woman said, and smile, always smile. People like it when you smile. And Salma said to him, and if you're late, apologize, but don't make excuses. People don't like excuses. So by the time they got to his stop, he was calm. He waved goodbye to his new friends, and off he went to his job interview. I just think that story illustrates the power of community, the power of connection, the power of being with each other. You know, we often hear the story of getting in the center of the herd. Have you ever heard that story? When you are in a group or you're in an organization or you're in some kind of a program, you want to be in the center of the herd because those that just stay on the outside get picked off. You know, like the cattle. Right? So you want to be right in the middle. You want to get right in. You want to jump in. You want to dive deep. You want to get right into the center of things. You know, that power that comes from being in a group. You know, one of the things that I learned early on was that to surround myself with people that kind of had what I wanted, that were operating at that higher vibration where they had, you know, the kind of lifestyle that I wanted or the consciousness that I was attracted to. I would hang out with those people because they would lift me. You know, we tend to raise to that high vibration of those around us. So hang out with people that are vibrating at the vibration that you want to vibrate at. You know, hang out with them. You know, the other thing is, it's interesting to walk this spiritual path and to be in this world, to walk in this world, and it's really kind of easy to do it. Do you find this when you're like by yourself? When you're by yourself, you can just be super spiritual, right? And you're at peace and it's all good. You know, and then you get in a relationship, right? You get a roommate. You know, you change something up and you have to work a little bit harder. You have to work a little bit harder at keeping that serenity, keeping that peace, being the love. You have to work a little bit harder. So we do it here in community. We do it with each other. We get to practice. We're here to grow. We're here to expand. We're here to be the love that we were birthed to be. And we get to do it together. We get to do it together. You know, I've had lots and lots and lots of tribes in my life, and that's what I like to call them, tribes, because they're people that I can connect with. They're people that get me and I get them, and they understand me, and I feel heard, and I feel appreciated, and I feel loved. And I expect that you have had some of those experiences too, where you just found a tribe that you clicked with. You know, for me, my family of origin, I come from a big Italian family, many of you know, and they were my first tribe. And some of them I really like, and some of them, you know. So I learned that I got to select my tribe. I got to find people that I could hang with, you know. And then for me, many of you know, it was a 12-step community. I really found people that I could relate to. And they could relate to me, and I understood what they were talking about, you know. And they were my tribe. They were my peeps. But then I wanted to explore my spirituality, and I wanted to go farther than I could in that situation. And I found Science of Mind. And then that became my tribe. That became my people. And then I found Seaside. And you all became my tribe. You all became my people. And I've continued to grow and expand and to find, where do I want to play? Who do I want to hang out with? What do I want to do? In the power of community. I have been changed for the better. And that's a line from a Wicked song, isn't it? I've been changed for the better by all of you. Absolutely, without a doubt. I'm a different person than I was when I walked in here 15 years ago. You know, I started Foundations class with Dr. Catherine Bonin, Reverend Lee Crowley, and we all three were in Foundations class. We went through practitioner studies together, and at the end of Prac 2, we were the only 3 students left, and we all 3 became ministers. You know, it's been an amazing, magnificent journey, and I wouldn't change a second of it. You know, of just being together and loving each other, exposing ourselves to each other, sharing with each other, saying what's going on with me, finding out what's going on with you, supporting each other through the life's ups and downs. We've been through so much here, and I know there's those of you that have been here longer than I have. But we've been here, you know, through the purchase of this building and the capital campaign and the purchasing of the building up there. And each one of it brought its own trials and tribulations and growth. Each one of it brought a lot of growth, right, Candace? We grew a lot. We grew a lot through all of those. And I couldn't have done that by myself. I would have been on my little mountaintop oming away. You know, but not have expanded, not have grown, not have learned to have the relationship with the divine that I have today, which is the most magnificent part of it all. Not to know the kind of love that I know today. To this outline today, I neglected to mention, was written by Reverend Abigail Schaefer. Each month, each week, a religious science minister does the outline for the theme for the global vision, and so she's the one that's created the outline for this week's talk. And there's a quote that she had that said, "Remember, we all stumble, every one of us. That's why it's a comfort to go hand in hand." It's beautiful. You know, so unity and wholeness is a guiding principle of the science of mind teaching. It is kind of one of our core concepts, if you will, that there is only one. There is only one, and there's nothing else but that one. One power, one presence. And then we are each individualized expression of that one power and that one presence, but there is only the one. And our spiritual mind treatment, the 5-step affirmative prayer that we teach here, the first 2 steps are recognition and unification. So in the second step, we're really talking about unity. But we've got to start with recognition. And it's been said by some of our teachers that if you get those 2 first steps down, you're good. You're good to go. The rest is just gravy. Because if you absolutely recognize that Spirit is all that there is, that there's nothing else except the divine, that there's only one, there's only God, there's only love, that's all that there is in the world, there's nothing else, and you unify yourself with that one power and that one presence, that you know that you are one with all that is and there's nothing else, well, then you're speaking as God, right? And that's what we teach in our classes. We're not speaking for God. We're not speaking like God would speak. We are speaking as God when we get into that place of actually doing a treatment, of actually being that. So there's only one. There's only one, and we are completely one with that. You know, to remember that unity and wholeness is that core concept that we talk about here. I found a beautiful part in the Science of Mind textbook that Ernest Holmes, our founder, wrote. Life is one perfect wholeness. The universe is a unit. God is one. It is impossible for man to feel separated from the Spirit without feeling lost and in want. It is impossible for man to feel separated from the Spirit without feeling lost and in want. So all problems, all disease, all issues that we might have are due to a belief in separation. So therefore, the answer is a belief in oneness. You know, if we can get rid of that idea that we can ever be separate from, then we are always one with. This is why Jesus said he could do nothing of himself, but could work only as the currents of divinity ran through his personal mentality. Our way of saying it is not I, but the Father within that doeth the work, right? That subtle something which runs through all things and which we call the thing itself. That energy without which nothing can be energized. That life without which nothing can live. That power without which nothing can move. And that Spirit without which nothing can be is God. It is only as we live in conscious union with the Spirit and consciously let it work through us that we really live. So as we consciously live in conscious union with the divine. The one. The one. Our individual expressions of the one are diverse. By honoring our diversity and being inclusive, we can really experience unity and wholeness. That individualized expression that we are is vital to the whole. It's a story that comes from India of a water bearer. And it was her job to go down to the stream every morning and fetch the water. So she had a pole that she wore across her neck, and she had 2 pots, one on each side. And one of the pots was perfect, and the other pot was cracked. So every day for 2 years, she would go down to the stream and gather the water. And when she got back to her master's house, she had 1 full pot and 1 half pot because the other pot had leaked. And about 2 years after she's been doing this, the pot that was broken spoke to her and said, I am ashamed. I'm ashamed of my imperfections. I'm ashamed that I can't do what it was that I was made to do. I arrived with only half full of water. And the other pot was prideful and happy and felt its perfection. And the water bearer said to the pot, she said, no, you are perfect as you are. As we walk back up the hill, I want you to notice the flowers along the path. And so the pot noticed as they were walking back up that, in fact, the sun was shining and there were some beautiful flowers along the path. But still, when they got to the top of the hill, the pot said, still, I feel that I failed you. And the water bearer said to the pot, she said, no, I've known all along that you had flaws, and I used it to the good. Don't you see? I knew that you were cracked, and so I planted flower seeds all along the path. And for 2 years, every time I walked up the hill, you were watering the flowers. You know? The moral of the story is that each of us has our unique flaws. We are all cracked pots, right? And yet our uniqueness brings value to the whole. And that's what I want you to know, that your uniqueness brings value exactly as you are. Who you are is so important to the whole. We wouldn't be what we are without you. Each person is a vital link, a vital piece of the puzzle of the whole. Each one of us is valuable as the next. There's no one person that's more valuable than the other. You know, the last part of our statement today talks about the healing power of love and forgiveness. And so we're going to look at that for just a second. And I'm going to talk about some of what comes from Roger Teal's book, This Life is Joy. It's his latest book. We have it in the bookstore if any of you are interested in it. But he does talk about forgiveness and what forgiveness is and what forgiveness is not. And these are some of the things that he says. Well, this I love. Forgiveness is the highest form of self-love. Isn't that true? Forgiveness is the highest form of self-love. Forgiveness is not forgetting. You can't forget anything. Every occurrence is recorded at deep levels of the mind. So, right? We just don't, forget about it. No. Condoning. Forgiveness is not about condoning the behavior, condoning whatever happened. You know, it's like that thing, forgiveness or acceptance doesn't mean, why am I drawing it back? Acceptance doesn't mean approval, right? We can accept something, but that doesn't mean that we say, oh yeah, I condone that. Getting on your high horse. Forgiveness is not about getting on your high horse, not about saying, oh, you know, if I forgive somebody, then I'll let them off the hook. I'm not going to do that. You know, not getting on our high horse. Or entering into martyrdom. Forgiveness is not about martyrdom. It's not about, oh, I'll forgive you, poor me. You can step all over me, do whatever you want. No. And forgiveness is not about a quick fix. Forgiveness is not about a quick fix. Dr. Roger Tilley tells this story of a pilot who has one of those old antique airplanes that classic airplane that he likes to fly. And so after the winter is over, it came to be spring, and the gentleman was so excited that he could take his airplane out. So this beautiful, beautiful spring day, he gets in his airplane, turns it on, takes off, perfect day, perfect advance, perfect whatever that is, take off. And then as he gets in the sky, he notices that the lever is not exactly working as it should. It's one of those planes that has the lever instead of the steering wheel. And he's realizing that something is not right. And he has a thought. He has a thought that perhaps something has happened to the cables. And the way this airplane works is that you pull on the lever, and the rudders and the flaps are controlled in the back by pulling on this lever, and there's one cord that connects it. And he has the thought that perhaps something has happened to those cords. And if those cords break, he will crash. And so what he decides to do is he pulls the lever as far as he can, and he does a complete, nose rise, not a nose dive, the opposite, up into the air. And he notices that the rattling stops and things seem to return back to normal. So he levels off and he continues his ride, and he has a nice day, and he lands perfectly. But when he lands, he takes the panel off the back flap, and what he finds in there is 3 dead rats. And one of the cables is chewed halfway through. And the rats, by the way, died from his going up into the altitude, losing the air. But what Dr. Till says the moral of the story is, if you want rats to chew on your cable, you need to go higher. You need to go higher. So when you have that thought, when you have that thing, when you have that resentment is just chewing on your mind, you need to go higher. You need to raise your thought. You need to raise your consciousness. You need to shake it free, whatever that is gnawing on you. So what he says forgiveness is, we've said what it is not. Forgiveness is, as we said, one of the highest forms of self-love. We all agree we like that. Being willing to get unstuck and out of the quicksand. Freeing yourself to get back to the higher agenda of your life, no longer tethered to the past. Because isn't that true? Unforgiveness keeps us tethered to the past. Reverend Abigail uses the illustration of a carousel on a slide projector. Do you guys, maybe you all don't know, but some of us know. Those slide projectors, the round ones where you have the different slides in it, and it goes around and around. And when we're holding on to unforgiveness, that slide keeps coming up. That slide keeps coming up. It keeps coming around and around. But when we're able to forgive, it's like the slide is removed, and we're not seeing it over and over again. He ends with forgiveness is not allowing the rats to chew on your cord. No. So this week, I just want to remind you that, number one, you are never alone. You're part of a spiritual community. You're part of the whole of all that is. And you are unique and individualized, and the unique talents that you have are vital to the whole. And that you are perfect, exactly the way that you are. And God bless you. You have a beautiful week. I love you all. Love you all. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Love you guys. Before we have Ari and Jim come back up to sing the song, we're going to do our affirmation, which is, join me. I am perfect, whole, and complete, exactly as I am. One more time, let's say it together. I am perfect, whole, and complete, exactly as I am. Aria.
This is for you, finding your place on the great path unwinding. From the day we arrive on the planet and blinking step into the sun, there is more to see than can ever be seen, more to do than can ever beaten. Some say live and let live. But all can agree we are one family and should never take more than we give in the circle of life. It's a wheel of fortune. It's a leap of faith. It's a band of hope till we find our place on the path unwinding. Circle of life. Some of us fall to the wayside, and some of us soar to the stars. Some of us sail through our troubles. Some of us live with the scars. There's so much to take in here, more to find than can ever be found. But the sun rolling high through the sapphire sky keeps great and small on the endless round in the circle of life. It's a wheel of fortune. It's a leap of faith. A band of hope till we find our place on the path unwinding in the circle of life. It's a wheel of fortune. It's the leap of faith. It's a band of hope till we find our place on the path unwinding in the circle of life.
Yay, yay.
Thank you, Jim.
Thank you, Art.
Jim.
Thank you, Debbie.
The
She's so
circle of
higher.
life. Thank you. Change.
Yeah, yeah.
We go. It's the time of our service for our offering. So I'm going to invite our ushers up, and while they're coming up, I'm going to talk to you about this little baby that's in your program, the pledge card. If you don't attend on Sunday, you may not have heard about it. If you have, well, here's another opportunity to fill it out. It is our annual pledge campaign. We do it one time a year. Last Sunday was Pledge Sunday, so those that would like to can fill out and put it into the basket. What it is that you might have your intention for 2017. It's not written in stone. It's not a contract. It's just what you think you might be able to give to support the work that Seaside does. And it helps staff with Seaside, Reverend Tammy and Dr. Christian, to create the budget for 2017. So if you haven't had an opportunity to fill one out, we would love for you to be able to do that. You can mail it in, take it home, think about it, mail it in, bring it in, whatever you'd like to do. And those are in there for you. But tonight we will have our offering. We have Denise and Mike. Hi. Welcome. Come on forward. Good to have you here. So this is a time of our service where we do our collection for Seaside. It is a time when you're able to practice that law of reciprocity, where we have to get to practice as you give, you receive. It's certainly not the reason to give, but it does help to get that pump prime, to get that flow going in your life. All that you give goes to support the work here at Seaside, to support the Wednesday night service, and all of our ministries. So we are so very grateful for whatever it is that you're moved to give. But together we can say the prosperity prayer. Here it is. As I give thanks for the good now flowing into my life, I gladly share that good with others. The more I give, the more I receive. I experience a deeper consciousness of peace and security, for I know that I am in the embrace of a warm, loving presence, forever seeking an outlet through me. My cup runneth over. I exist in limitless possibilities. So it is. Thank you, Jim.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you. Jim's always got our musical interlude going there. So before we do our closing song and prayer, I just have a few announcements and some thank yous, of course. So next Wednesday night, we will be here, but it will not be the Going Within service. It is the Interfaith Thanksgiving service next Wednesday, so you want to get here early. We will be full up, I guarantee you. There's pie afterwards, which is always fun. But it's an event where all the spiritual communities of the area come together in one united service. It's very beautiful. It's very beautiful to see all of the faiths together giving thanks. So that is next Wednesday evening. There is an opportunity to be in the choir. So you can join them on the 20th, Sunday, and then practice on the 23rd if you're interested in being in the choir. Also, this Sunday, the 20th, is our big chili cook-off. Last year, I want you to know I won. I don't think I won first place, but I got a ribbon, I'll tell you that. So sign up. There's several categories out there. They're signed up outside the kitchen. You can sign up, and everybody gets to eat, and it's a fun celebration to end our pledge program. Last but not least, Dr. Christian put this in the program on Sunday, and I just want to point it out to you. It is in the program for you. It is his thoughts on all that happened in the last week over the election and how we look at it from a science of mind perspective. I think it's beautifully written. I encourage you to read it if you haven't. I want to thank everybody from the bottom of my heart. I can't even begin to thank you all for what you all mean to me. I am going to be, tomorrow's my last day in the office, and then on November 27th, I'm going to be here on Sunday speaking. Dr. Christian will be on vacation, and my talk title for that night will be that you can't get here from there. So we'll be talking about the spiritual path and all the winding and wiggling ways that we get here. So I invite you to come out on the 27th and celebrate our last day together. And Reverend Lori Mack, I love you so much. We started out as babies when we started this 2 years ago, both of us fresh out of ministerial school. And it has just been an honor and a joy, and you all have raised me up. You have grown me. The reason I was able to step into even the interview at Monterey was because of you. You all have just loved me up incredibly. Love you, love you, love you. Going to miss you, Reverend Lori. Reverend Lori will be here the 3 Wednesdays a month, so you can get a little more of Reverend Lori starting in 2017. So that's good. I want to thank everybody that makes Wednesday night possible. Ginny Mills and Dennis are not here today, and as you know, they are like pillars of Wednesday night. I just can't thank them enough. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you to Tim, who has podcast every Wednesday night for us. What a blessing you are to me. We talked before the service tonight. Tim was in my Prac 1 class, and Love him to death, him and Denise both. Thank you. And Steve, thank you for being here, for doing your internship here on Wednesday nights, and now you're full-fledged sound guy. Melanie, thank you for always being here, for supporting us. Thank you so very much. Our practitioners, as Trudy said, they are available for prayer. Rebecca is holding the light. Trudy, thank you so very much for being part of the Wednesday night service. I want to thank Jan Hartman, who has finally moved into her new home. Thank you, Jan, for being part of it. Trudy, Brian Atkins, Nancy Mills, and Rebecca, all who have been practitioners that have been with me here on Wednesday night, holding the light, raising the consciousness. And all of you that have been here every single Wednesday, or most every single Wednesday, what a blessing you are and a joy you are. And oh my gosh, Ari and Jim, I'm going to miss you like crazy. These two have my back. They are amazing. I never have to worry about anything. I never have to think about anything. Ari and I have that one mind connection. She picks the perfect song. I don't even have to tell her what the title is. Love you guys. Love you both. I'll give Jimmy a hug too. Love you. Okay. Oh, girl.
This is from the casting crew.
Oh, thank you, sweetheart.
Along with end service, we love you.
I love you. I love you.
Because of you, I have expanded and I have changed. I'm going to miss you so much. You're like a big sister to me. She's always kept me in line. I know because of you, everyone here has changed. You have touched everyone's heart, and you have shown so much compassion, so much kindness, and dynamic leadership qualities. And I know there's just only greatness for you in the future. And I've always been amazed by Debbie because she always had she was in ministry 150%. For
150 years, too. But, yeah.
And I'm trying to think today all the ministries that she's done this year alone. And I know that she was a Prac 1 teacher ministry, and she's in the education ministry, right? And the bookstore ministry, and the congregate care ministry. And I believe you took over Reverend Tammy, the financial ministry, when Reverend Tammy was gone.
For a little while.
And, practicing the principles ministry, where you've touched our hearts and our souls, and just, you've done so much. It's amazing. And you've heard the call. You had the call. Yeah, give her a big hand. Amazing, right?
Love you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
Cute. I love you.
She heard the call, and spirit started to work right away. Got her a church right away, her household right away. She got a place to live right away. It is supposed to happen. So they are very blessed to have you, and we love you. Yeah. Amen.
I love you too. Thank you. What a surprise. Thank you. You all are blessed. I think we have cupcakes tonight, too. A little upgrade from cookies. So let's pray. How about that? If there's anybody that you have in your mind that you would like to add to this prayer, please just raise them in your consciousness now, knowing that they are part of this beautiful, wonderful prayer that we are saying now. I know that there is only one power and one presence, and it is God, and it is good, and there is nothing, absolutely nothing but the divine. There is only the one, and it is wholeness and unity and grace and love and peace and joy. And I know that I am one with this source. I know that I am one with all that is. And just as I know that this is true for me, I know it's true for each one here. I know that each one is a beautiful individualized expression of source, perfect, whole, and complete, exactly as they are. I know that there's nothing that's broken, nothing that needs to be fixed, nothing that needs to be taken care of. There's only to reveal that divine essence that is already present, that is always whole, that is always perfect, that is always 100% exactly what it needs to be. And I know when I claim for Seaside Center for Spiritual Living that it is a place of divine unfoldment. It is a place where Spirit shows up in a powerful way, in a big way, in a joyful way. And I know that as Seaside moves forward, it expands and grows, and that this pledge program is a program that's an absolute success, that Source funds Seaside in many ways, in many avenues, that it is absolutely sourced in all the work that is done here. I know for each and every individual that's put a prayer in our prayer request chest that prayer is answered. I know for each and every person that has put a name into this consciousness this evening that prayer is answered, that there is only the one, there is only the light, there is only love. I am so grateful to be part of this spiritual community. I am so grateful to be part of all that has transpired here. So with a sense of absolute joy, I just simply release these words into the divine nature of the law, knowing it is already done. And so it is. To our closing song. You want to come with us, Abigail? You want to come sing?
Love is my decision. It's up to me to give of my heart. Love is my decision. No one else can tell me to start. Once I decide to change my mind, love will show me how. Love is my decision, right here and now. Love is my decision. It's up to me to dance down that road. Love is my decision, and no one else can lighten my load. No. Once I decide to change my mind, love will show me how. Love is my decision, right here and now. My decision, right here and now.
God bless you. Join us for cupcakes.
Hey. All righty. You done good tonight. Yay. Smooth sailing. Beautiful, beautiful. You've done this before? And you'll do it again? Maybe. Dougie, you ready to go? I ask forgiveness for the ones